last several people we have talked to and come across, like just as potential design clients, they want tiny stuff. Like they're either getting older in their houses and they have too much responsibility, too much yard to take care of, too much house, and they just want less, but they still want the community aspect. And so I love the idea of developing tiny home communities where, I mean, I think the tiny home movement exists in people's minds. To be honest with you, I think it's a fantasy unless it's done in community. Because no one wants to live in a small house by themselves, or by themselves anywhere for that matter. But if you can live in a smaller house with smaller footprint, but do it with people that you love and you care about, that's the magic, I think. So what do you think about that though?
Yeah, and really this all came about because I went on to a design consultation with a client, and it was all sort of happenstance. It wasn't happenstance at all. I think it was a God intervention. But so I went there, and she was spending $900 a month on utility bills just to heat her home. Her had just a cooler home, and she's going into the dead of winter at that point, and she didn't have the money that she needed to replace her furnace. And then on top of all that, she had a monthly bill that she could never pay for when she stops working. So she is at retirement age. She could never retire in those financial states. Like, she wanted to refinance her home to be able to do $100,000 worth of repairs. She was hoping the whole thing would be like 40, but in reality, and going through a house, it was all 100, and so at least 140.
Yeah.
I mean, 100 at least, bare minimum. And so like after seeing that, I realized at that point, and stepping outside of her house, and I'm just like in shock this whole time, just sad for this lady who she doesn't know, like she's going to be working until the day she dies, and she doesn't get that, right? So she's never probably had financial training. She's just living her life the best way she knows how. The American dream, this big house that she's got all this maintenance, her furnace isn't broke, and she has no way of getting a new one right now. And so it was like all these people living like this, because I looked down, got out of her house, looked to the left, looked to the right, all the houses were exact same condition, like just needed a complete overhaul. So at that point, the cool thing was I'd already made the design for the first tiny, like the model, the blueprint for the first tiny was already created, but I was just sitting on it for 8 months to a year, because I had no idea what to do with it. Like, nothing had popped up, no opportunities popped up. It was just kind of on the back burner, knowing I wanted to make tiny houses, but then finally meeting that lady was what made it click.
Well, and so rewind, right? Because I mean, 8 months prior to that, a year prior to that, you were at your parents' house for the weekend. I was at home, I was at our home, and then we decided separately, without talking to each other, that tiny homes was the future, and tiny homes was what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then we talked and said, oh, same vision, same thing, cool. It must be something. So, and then we kept running into people, clients, one after another, who they just loved the idea of it. Of course, it's awesome, right? I mean, they're so cool. So that's one end of the spectrum, is like it's need-based. The other end, it's just super cool. And you get to do something different that not everyone gets to do, and you get to do it in a different way.
And at the end of the church sermon, our pastor even said, out of nowhere, the sermon was about something completely different. He said, there's a need in this community for the families. Like, young families are not having kids. They're waiting to have kids because they don't have a house that they feel safe in or comfortable or whatever. They're in an apartment. They don't want to raise a baby in an apartment. So it was like, I just felt that was just hey, go ahead and start building.
And so we have such a unique pairing right now. Brittany's incredible with design. I build, and so we take the designs that she comes up with, and I try to implement them in the best way possible, using the best practices possible, and we try to make magic happen. And this is one example of it. We've got several more models coming, several more examples. We also got several developments in the works. It's a really unique time to be in Kansas City right now. Reach out to us and ask us more about that, because it's a great time for tiny homes.
Okay. The most important features for me was for a small house to look not small. And so we really try to showcase giant windows. I think everybody knows the premise of a tiny house, especially a tiny house on wheels like this one. is we wanted it to, I mean, it's got to be transportable, that's the bottom line. So it's got to be able to drive down the highway. And it's got to be in this shape, and not much shape can vary. So really limited on design as far as like the cool bump outs and stuff you can do, architectural features, different decks. And so just incorporating what we could out of a square box essentially. So the big windows is huge on impact on the inside as far as brightness. So, and I think, okay, so one of my favorite parts about the Tiny is including awesome kitchen features. So I like to cook. I like to be in the kitchen a lot, and so part of this is making a tiny house that does not feel tiny. So we've got the integrated cutting board, the drainage table, so we can drain all of our foods right in here. We've got this mat that lays out for drying, and then it all goes back conveniently. So we've got our water. This is for our job site. So this is our office trailer right now for our build site. So we're literally using this as our project management job site office. And so we've got it all cooked up to a modern sized gas stove, which is a 24-inch instead of the standard 30-inch stove. But guess what's awesome is everybody recognizes this boiler pan. I'm pretty sure it comes standard with every oven, but guess what? It fits in this little guy too. And so we've got the microwave package, and these are Thor brand, so we really love the Thor. I've spent an embarrassing amount of time picking out the most beautiful appliances for this Tiny because I wanted them very compact yet not debilitating. So like the French door fridge, no big deal, with obviously the milk carton that's clear and some lemon water because you could live without that. And then, okay, so one more important thing though is not sacrificing on the cool features of the fridge itself. And this one isn't connected because we don't have temp water out here yet, but this one has an ice maker that's built into it, and so, and water. So yeah, didn't want to give up any amenities living tiny. And then we really try to keep up with the storage. Don't look in there, it's not organized. But yeah, so we've got a pantry here, and then if you see a full-size bath, but this is the bathroom that we chose to design. Okay, so we wanted it to be as big as possible and really make it feel like it's actually a home bathroom. So it's like got a storage mirror, there's drawers, the whole thing is drawers. It's a 36-inch vanity, so it's got plenty of space for makeup, amenities, all the storage you could want, with medicine cabinet behind there, and then with a walk-in shower. I don't know, it just makes the space feel so open having the glass doors. A big shower, rain head, and then a full-size toilet. None of that camper toilet nonsense. So look at that, folks. It's a real full-size toilet. And a giant window. Okay, so this is the living room. All right, so we've hung the TV on the wall so you can see it from anywhere in the kitchen. So you could be watching your favorite cooking show while cooking. And then we've also got our coffee nook set up with fruit bar and just muffins or whatever bakery items we have for the day. And kind of one of my most favorite design features, or something that's super, super functional for everyone, is this built out around the front door. Okay, so this section is obviously for coats and closets and everything, and then up above is storage for everything. So right now we're using this space as our office. So we've got everything from our mailing letters, we've got like a little Budgets of Beautiful Designs, basically a store with all of our shirts and t-shirts and bottles and everything that we give to clients as gifts. And then we've got just our little office trinkets. So fun things to zoom in to these. So totally off topic, but how cool are these? So this is the fun stuff that we found inside of the walls of the Lee Summit Longview farmhouses. So this was a horse ribbon in the wall, red ribbon. That's probably why she got rid of it. Ooh, they didn't want to display anything that wasn't blue. And then this cool like cheese knife from Sheffield, England. All these were in the walls. Nifty. Oh, one thing. I don't know that we should talk about this. I don't know. We won a home and garden. We went to the home and garden show, Johnson County, and we won best use of small space. So basically our tiny little booth that we rented to, it was like there were, I don't know, 4 or 5 sizes, and ours was the smallest of sizes. But we got the best use of small space, meaning ours was designed the best. And so that's kind of like a really fun hinter, like, I don't know, just a little like, okay, maybe you should design small spaces. Maybe that's why we got it. Okay, cool. Randomness, but just realize that, okay. Okay, so check it out. We just want to talk about this is the bedroom / office. So this will eventually have a Murphy bed that folds up with an office desk below. And so you can see we've got closet space above, there's even a small shelf above this for shoes, another closet space, and then right here a 3rd closet space with a shelf above, and then all the laundry amenities. So this is a washer and dryer in one. Get 2 loads out of there in 3 hours. So you don't even have to switch them. So one of our clients was like, does it fold at 2? And Chris was like, no, but it makes waffles. There you are, and I'll give the mic to them. Hello.
Okay, so what does a design and build company, tiny home manufacturing company all have in common? An awesome team, and we have one of those. So we've got Nick, who's awesome with design, one of our lead carpenters. Jonathan here is our construction manager. Brittany, of course, lead designer, and I'm one of the builders. We are Budget's Beautiful Designs. Feel free to reach out if you need to design and build for anything. So that's outdoor living, that's kitchens, that's bathrooms, tiny homes, of course, tiny home designs, tiny home builds. We prefer to design and build your project from start to finish, but if you have plans already, we're happy to look at building them too. So it's about to rain, so we're gonna cut this shot short, but this is the team. We design and build just about anything from outdoor living to kitchens to bathrooms to tiny homes. You want the jingle?
Do it!
Call Budget to Beautiful. If you wanna design, call 816-601-0909. Cool.